algebra, we are going over for a second time. This is the top half of CO33. It's solving proportions within measurement systems. And what we're looking at is basically unit conversion within time, minutes, hours, days, years, length, feet, yards, miles, and then capacity, cups, pints, quarts, gallons. And so let's just quickly review how many seconds in a minute. I'm going to make you answer this. Thank you. 60 seconds in a minute. If you don't have these notes, make sure you jot them down. This is a key point, so put it on a help sheet for your test on Thursday. How many minutes in an hour? 60. Hours in a day? 24. Days in a year? 365. Inches in a foot? 12. Feet in a yard? 3. Yards in a mile? 1,760. And feet in a mile? 5,280. Ounces in a cup? 8. Cups in a pint? And here's where this little handy dandy picture here comes from. If you can tell, inside each of those P's are 2 C's, right? And so that shows that there are 2 cups in 1 pint. How many pints in a quart?
2.
You can see inside each Q there are 2 P's. So 4, whoops, it's a Monday. 2 pints in a quart. And how many quarts in a gallon? 4 Q's in a G. And so there are 4 quarts in a gallon. Okay, nice little handy dandy visual to help you remember that. So that's probably the one of these 3 things you're the least familiar with. And then we work through 2 examples together. And who can remind me, what is our pattern here? What are we looking to do? Fine, you'll make me say that. So if we're looking for how many seconds are in a day, okay, seconds is where we start, right? And we want to write down, what do we know about seconds? Gregory. What?
Multiply 60 by itself.
Okay, so we're starting up here. How many seconds are in 1 day? Seconds is where we start. What do we know about seconds? You know, there are 60 seconds in a minute. That's how you get your first fraction. What do I know? And then day, that's where we want to end, right? That's our final answer, right? And then as Gregory just said here, our first step is going to be a scale factor, right? Because we want to work up to our next unit. We know there are 60 seconds in a minute. What do we know about minutes? There are 60 minutes in an hour. So our first step is going to be a scale factor, multiplied by 60. We do the same thing to seconds, multiply by 60, and we know that there are 3,600 seconds in 60 minutes. Okay? What comes after a conversion, or a scale factor? What comes after a scale factor? Yes, Mr. Schultz, 5 seconds ago. A conversion, right? We convert to an hour. The reason why we went to 60 minutes and not 40 minutes or 75, we went to 60 because we know that 60 minutes is equivalent to our next unit up, right? So if there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, there are still 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. And then after a conversion comes a Nolan. After conversion comes a
Answer.
No. After conversion comes a Lily? Scale factor again. Okay? This is our pattern here, right? I'm drawing these arrows the way I am to get you to see that it's a scale factor, conversion. Scale factor, conversion, right? The scale factor changes something. The conversion, it stays the same. Okay? How do we get from 1 hour to 24 hours? Multiply by 24. And here's where I'll need your help. What is 3,600 times 24?
86,400.
86,400. Okay? So the 86,400 seconds in 24 hours. Why do we go to 24 hours? Why not 20? Why not 100? Because 24 hours, we know something about that. 24 hours gets us to our next unit up. Okay? And now that we're there, it's going to be a conversion. 24 hours to 1 day. This doesn't change. And so there are 86,400 seconds in 1 day. right? That's your process every time. Scale factor, conversion. Scale factor, conversion. Scale factor, conversion, right? Did we do this one? I think we did.
Yeah.
Okay. 12 inches in a foot. How many inches are in 2 yards? We start with inches in a foot because that's our beginning unit. Okay. And we go with 12 inches because we know something about 12 inches. We know that 12 inches make a foot. Right? So then we start with scale factor. Okay. Get up to our next unit. We know there are 3 feet in a yard, which is why we go to 3. And so we multiply by 3, multiply by 3, and there are 36 inches in 3 feet. Now that we've done a scale factor, what comes next? Conversion. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard, which means that 36 inches is equal to 1 yard. And now that we've done a conversion, we do a scale factor to get up to 2 yards, which is what we want in our final answer. So times 2, and we get 72 inches in 2 yards. So a couple things. Sometimes you'll end on a conversion. Sometimes you'll end on a scale factor, right? It just depends on what question you're being asked. But notice that our numerator here stays the same. The units stay the same throughout. We start in seconds. We end in seconds. We start in inches. We end in inches, right? It's the denominator where our units change because we're building up to something. And that's why we have this pattern of scale factor, conversion, scale factor, conversion. And that's where we left off Friday. Any questions on this? Comments on this? Concerns? All right. Then let's move on. Here we go. How many ounces are in 3 quarts? What's our first fraction going to be? What do we know about ounces?
There's 8 ounces in the cup.
Okay, so we're starting with, and actually the abbreviation, I'm not going to write the word out. The abbreviation for ounces is OZ. I don't know why, it just is. Okay, there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. And we're starting with, that's how we know where we begin, because how many ounces, what do we know about ounces? We know there are 8 of them. In what? In a cup. Okay? And we're building up to quarts. All right? We're building up to quarts. So, what do you think we do first here? Are we going to start with a conversion or start with a scale factor? Well, we're building up to quarts, right? So what do we know about cups?
There are 2 cups in a pint.
2 cups in a pint. So what do we have to do to get up to 2 cups?
Scale factors.
By what? 2, right? We're going to start with a scale factor, multiply by 2 to get 2 cups. Because we know 2 cups make a pint, right? So then we're also going to multiply our 8 ounces by 2, being a scale factor, and we get 16 ounces in 2 cups. And we went to 2 cups because we know something about 2 cups. There are 2 cups in a pint. So since we just did a scale factor, next comes a conversion, right? 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. Those are equivalent values. They're the same thing. That's why we just go straight across. There's no multiplication, no scale factor here because 2 cups and 1 pint are the same thing. So our 16 ounces don't change. If there are 16 ounces in 2 cups, and 2 cups are 1 pint, there are 16 ounces in 1 pint. Okay? Now that we did a conversion, what comes next?
Scale factor.
Scale factor again. To what? What do we know about pints?
2 pints in 1 quart.
2 pints in a quart. So to get to 2 pints, what's our scale factor? Somebody haven't heard from me yet today. See, from 1 pint to 2 pints. What's our scale factor here? Gregory.
256.
Well, remember, we're not the final answer yet. Okay? Right now we're just looking at what do we multiply 1 pint by to get to 2 pints? 2. Yeah. Okay? So times 2. Since it's a scale factor, we also need to multiply our ounces by 2. And what do we know about pints? Or about 2 pints? 2 pints is equal to 1 quart, right? Now we have a conversion. We went to 2 pints because we knew something about 2 pints. They equal 1 quart. Right? And if 2 pints is 1 quart, that means there are 32 ounces in 1 quart. But we don't want 1 quart, we want 3 quarts. Adrian, how do we get from 1 quart to 3 quarts?
Multiplied by 3.
Yes, which makes sense because after a conversion comes a scale factor, right? And so to get to 3 quarts, we multiply by 3, which means we multiply our ounces by 3. And how many ounces are in 3 quarts? 96 ounces in 3 quarts. Right? We see this pattern throughout. Scale factor, conversion, scale factor, conversion, scale factor. Okay? Questions on what we just did up there? All right. Your heart beats 80 times per minute. Now, obviously, this varies for everybody. It depends on how active you are. It beats faster, blah, blah, blah. We're just going with a general average of 80 times per minute. How many times does it beat in 13 years? Right? So our starting unit is what? What's our first fraction going to be here? What's our first rate? Your heart beats 80 times per minute. What is that as a rate? Don't be shy. It's just me, you all, and the millions that watch my videos. It's fine. I'll even call you by a fake name. Charlie. What is our first rate?
80 over 1.
Well done, Charlie. Good job. Yeah. Okay. 80 over 1 minute, right? 80 times per minute. That's a unit rate, isn't it? Because it compares something to 1. Right? 80 times per minute. We have to get all the way up to 13 years. So that's why I started way over here, because this is going to be a lot. All right? But let's get to work here. All right? What do we do first? We have to build up from minutes to years. What's our first build up here? What do we know about minutes? 60 minutes. Good job, Ralph. 60 minutes in an hour. Okay? So our first move here, it's going to be a scale factor multiplied by 60 to get up to 60 minutes. Which means we have to multiply our 80 by 60 as well, and we're already up to 4,800 times in 60 minutes. We just did a scale factor, so next comes a conversion. And 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour, which means that your heart beats 4,800 times in 1 hour. What do we know about hours? Annabelle. I thought I saw your hand go up. What do we know about hours?
60 minutes in an hour.
That's true. That's what we know about minutes, right? What do we know about hours? Build up. What unit comes after hours?
Okay.
Days. Okay, how many hours in a day?
24.
Annabelle's got this. Good job, 24. Okay, so our next jump here is going to be a scale factor multiplying by 24, because that's going to help us build up to a day. And I'm going to need your help here. What's 4,800 times 24?
115,200.
Whoa! 115,200. I'm going to make my fraction bars longer here. 115,200 beats in 24 hours. We just did a scale factor, so next comes a conversion, right? We went to 24 hours because that is equal to 1 day. And so your heart beats 115,200 times in 1 day. That's a lot, isn't it? That's a lot. Okay? Where are we going next? There's going to be a big scale factor here. Yes. Should I use your real name? Anthony.
Years.
Years. Okay? How do we get from days to years?
Times by 360.
Exactly. Right? Next comes a scale factor. We're multiplying by 365. And what is 100? I'm going to make this longer. What is 115,200 times 365? Who's got the quick maths? Ronald.
This.
It is big. Just read off the digits.
4, 2.
4, 2, 0.
Oh, Ronald has it.
No, that's okay.
Do you have the right thing? No. Yeah, go ahead.
4204.
4204
8 0
000. What number is that? My goodness. Yeah.
42 million. Is that
42,048,000 is how you would read that number there. 42,048,000 times in how long? 365 days? Which we know is equivalent to 1 year, right? Next up comes a conversion. 365 is equal to 1 year, and I'm not going to rewrite that number here, but it's the same thing. I shouldn't put a curved line. That means scale factor. We'll just put a straight line there. Okay, but it's the same thing there. 42,048,000 times. We're almost done. What's our last calculation here? Times 13, right? Because we know what 1 year is. We want to get to 13 years. And I'm going to need your help with this one.
5.
Someone haven't heard from me yet today? Yeah.
5, 4, 6, 6, 2, 4, 0, 0, 0.
546624000.
Yeah.
What number is that?
5 and then 546.
54 million.
Comma there, comma there. 546,624,000. Okay, in 13 years, which you folks are about 13 years old, right? Your heart has beaten 546 million times. That's a lot of times. That's a pretty amazing organ, isn't it? Landon, did you get something else? No? Okay. All right. That's the process. Okay? Scale factor, conversion. Scale factor, conversion. Nolan, did you get something else? You look perplexed.
I passed out for a second.
Okay. Okay. Scale factor, conversion. Scale factor, that's the process. You're building up units to get to your final answer. Okay? Your homework is going to be the second page. How many minutes are in a day? Yes, we already kind of calculated this in a previous one when we went from seconds to years, but you still need to show the work. Okay, start from scratch. I gave you one that we kind of already did just so you can ease into the process when you do it solo. Okay, so work must be shown, right? How many ounces are in a quart? How many cups in a gallon? Feet in 12 yards? Seconds in a year? Ounces in 2 gallons? And then some word problems here. A fabric costs 12 cents per inch, and you need 2 yards. How much will it cost? Okay, those of you that are all crafty, when you go to Joann's or Michael's or whatever, right? They charge you usually by the yard for large projects, but for our purposes here, 12 cents per inch. You need 2 yards. How much will it cost? And finally, there are 65 grams of sugar in a 20-ounce bottle of Coke. How many grams of sugar are in a gallon of Coke? Okay. I don't know about Pepsi. I chose Coke. I don't know. All right. So that is your homework. It's going to be due tomorrow. Tomorrow we will start reviewing with a practice test. That'll be an assignment that is due Wednesday. We'll go over it Wednesday. Your test on this unit will be Thursday. Okay. Test on this unit will be Thursday. I hope you are feeling confident. I feel like this unit's gone pretty well. There's been some great connections that you folks have made here, and looking forward to it. Okay. All right. Final questions, comments, concerns, complaints, compliments, congratulations, or criticisms. All right. Congratulations to you all. Thank you, Ronald and Annabelle and what else did I say?
Ralph.
Ralph, Charlie, and Anthony. You've all done a fantastic job. Have a great day.